Welcome to AnimeTalk Chronicles, where we dive deep into the captivating worlds of anime, dissecting stories, unraveling characters, and sharing our passion for all things animated. Today, we're diving into the captivating anime chronicles of an Aristocrat Reborn in another world. This series has been making waves in the anime community, and we're starting our deep dive with part 1 of our 7-part review series. The story begins with a boy named Kazuya who is on his way to the grocery store. Suddenly, a crowd of panicked people rushes out of the store, causing him to bump into someone and drop his phone. A man wielding a knife appears, and 2 little girls freeze in fear. Kazuya, noticing the girls' predicament, rushes to their aid. Despite being stabbed and fatally wounded in the process, Kazuya manages to distract the attacker, allowing the girls to escape. As Kazuya fades, he wakes up in the body of Kane, initially thinking he's in a hospital. Confusion sets in as he meets Sylvia, his maid, and Sarah, his mother, whom he doesn't recognize. Looking into a mirror, Kane realizes he has been reincarnated into another world and recalls his heroic death in his previous life. Grateful for saving the girls, Kane adjusts to his new life, but is bewildered by his unfamiliar body and surroundings. Growing up as Kane's Ford, a 3-year-old nobleman's son in this new world, Kane learns he has a family consisting of his father Garm, his mother Sarah, and an older sister Renee. This father is Margrave, a noble with his own army, and has a second wife named Maria, along with 2 half-brothers, Jin and Alec. Embracing the existence of monsters and magic in this fantastical realm, Kane expresses a desire to become an adventurer. Under Sylvia's guidance, Kane immerses himself in learning about the world. Despite missing his previous life as an orphan without family, Kane excels in his new environment. Displaying remarkable intelligence for his age, Kane impresses his family with his ability to solve math problems and his eagerness to read and learn about magic. His newfound aspirations intrigue his parents, prompting Kane to request books from his father to further his magical education. After discovering that he was too young and unbaptized to wield magic, Kane's parents advised him to focus on reading books for the time being. Undeterred, Kane secretly taught himself magic and joyously experimented with powerful fire spells. His older sister, Renee, caught him in the act once but assumed he was merely curious about the outside world, much to Kane's relief. Over the next 2 years, Kane continued to absorb knowledge from his sister and eagerly awaited his upcoming baptism, which would grant him access to magic powers. When the day finally arrived, 5-year-old Kane, dressed in new clothes, set off with Renee to the church. As they traveled in the carriage, Kane asked his sister about status magic, prompting her to demonstrate by opening a status window, revealing her abilities and magic power. Kane couldn't help but notice his sister's embarrassing title, Adorer of Kane, but played it off nonchalantly. At the church, during Kane's baptism ceremony, a statue suddenly shone brightly, summoning him to meet the gods. Astonished to meet real gods, including the creator god Sem, Kane was initially taken aback by Xenim's cosplay-like appearance. Xenim explained his ability to read minds and revealed that Kane's heroic death in his previous life had been unnecessary. The criminal's capture by others was already assured. Learning this truth embarrassed Kane deeply, realizing his sacrifice had been in vain. However, he also discovered that due to his good deed, he was granted a second life and reincarnated into his current loving family. Grateful for retaining his memories of his past life and touched by the gods' blessings, including those from the magic goddess Reno and the god of war Saros, Kane acquired overpowering skills such as item box and identification. With blessings from all the gods, Kane returned from the divine realm, his stats enhanced to level 10 by each blessing. Delighted and humbled, Kane read a message left by the creator god, explaining his unique ability to manipulate the god's status values with a creator skill. Back at the church after his baptism, Kane's father eagerly awaited to see his son's stats, but Kane feigned a stomach ache to sneak away and privately check his remarkable status. When Rain got home, he celebrated his baptism with his family, and Kane opened his status window. His father Garm couldn't believe about Kai's high stats because Kane forgot to disguise all stats. His family thought Kane was a genius and his father was impressed, but he was also aware of the dangers, so he told Kane and everyone else in the room not to tell anyone about C's stats. After that, Kane went to his room and found a book about summoning magic on his bed. Kane wanted to summon a fluffy monster and he went outside to summon a fluffy monster that he can hug. Cain unintentionally summoned a dangerous monster. Suddenly, his sister and one of her friends also showed up. The summoned monster wanted to kill them, and Cain wanted to protect his sister and her friend. Cain attacked the monster with a fire attack, but he was overwhelmed by the strong monster. At that moment, he remembered his old life and didn't want to lose again, so he teleported the monster away with a spell. Cain was able to defeat the dangerous monster and fell on the ground. The two girls cried, and Cain thought he was dying again. Suddenly, Cain realized that he wasn't hurt at all, and his sister was happy that he was healthy. Cain was also happy because he realized that he could save people in his new life. The next day, Cain did a speech to the friends of his family, and his father wanted to hear what Cain wanted to do in his future. Cain said that he wants to be an adventurer who helps many people and has many great adventures. Also, he wanted to discover the world and wanted to make a lot of friends. Cain decided to become a great adventurer, and his father supported Cain's dream of becoming an adventurer. Garm said to his son that he would hire a private tutor that teach him more about an adventurer life, so Cain looked forward to learn more about this world. The next day, Cain was in his room, and he imagined how his new tutor would look like. Suddenly, Cain found out that his tutors had arrived, and he teleported himself to the roof of their estate with a magic spell. Cain fell down and landed on his new teacher Millie's breasts. Millie then thought that he wanted to be breastfed. As a result, Cain apologized for his behavior, and his butler told Cain that they are his new home teachers. Cain introduced himself to both of them, and he was happy about his new tutors. We then see Millie, who is very nervous, and introduces herself to Cain's family. Na also introduced herself, and Cain remarked that Na is an elf. That's how Cain got to know of his new tutors, and Millie was relieved that they didn't have to speak so polite in their presence. The two adventurers were delighted to be C's tutors and took him outside to practice swordsmanship. Millie wanted to see C's skills, so he showed them his powerful sword skills. The two tutors were impressed, and Na said that Cain is most likely stronger than Millie. Knock words hurt Millie's pride, and she wanted to have a practice match with C. During the practice fight, the two couldn't believe that Cain was only 5 years old because he was way too strong. Cain told the two more about himself, and Millie was overwhelmed by Cain, so Na wanted to teach Cain magic, and Cain said he already knows the basics. He then showed Na his magic power, and he could use all elements. Na couldn't believe that Cain was a beginner since he cast magic spells that only high-level magicians could use. Na thought Cain was a genius, and the two girls learned that Cain received 2 different blessings by the gods. Millie immediately realized that Cain is already stronger than the two adventurers, and they can't teach him anything new. Then Cain used his item box, and the two couldn't believe that he also had the skill item box. All of his tutors told him that he is on a pro level, so Cain asked if the two could teach him anything outside of his estate. The reason was Cain didn't know the world outside and haven't much experience. The two tutors agreed with Cain's idea, so they reported to Cain's father that his son was far too strong and that he would destroy everything if he continued training. Sarah was proud of her son Canaan, and his father expected it. Before that, Cain is to overpowered. Garm allowed Cain to go outside, but he said that Cain should be back at evening. Then Cain made his way outside looking forward to his training session with Millie, and now once outside, Cain should try using advanced magic to attack a giant rock. Cain cast a strong fire spell, and he caused a huge explosion. Na couldn't believe that Cain could cast such a powerful attack. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the vast realms of anime. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and stay tuned for more thrilling reviews and discussions. Until next time, keep exploring the boundless wonders of anime with us.